Welcome to session 4 of the Introduction to Computing, Csit 103. The session 4 talks about handles network topology. The network topology is connected with manner in which computer systems or network equipment are connected to each other. Topologies may define both physical and logical aspects of the network. Both logical and physical topologies could be same or different in the same network. In this session, we will discuss the various topologies with some other associated devices. The key topics to be covered in this session are as follows: bus topology, star topology, ring topology, mesh topology, and then the topology daisy chain hybrid topology. Introduction. What is network topology? The connection of network nodes. Connection can be physical or logical. Physical topology. Actual layout of the computer cables and other network devices. Logical topology defines the architecture of the communication mechanism for all nodes in a network. The way in which the network appears to the devices that use it. Common topologies are bus, ring, star, mesh, tree, token ring, daisy chain, hybrid. Point-to-point networks contains exactly two hosts. Hosts can be computer, switches, routers, or servers. Connection is back to back using a single cable. The receiving end of one host is connected to sending end of the other end and vice versa. That is what we see here as the data flow from this computer device to the other. Point-to-point advantages: low cost, simple to configure, user has full access to computer. Point-to-point disadvantages: may have duplication in resources, difficult to uphold security policy, difficult to handle uneven loading. It means point-to-point you may not share much. Where is point-to-point appropriate? Point-to-point is appropriate where there are less users, no specialized services required, security is not an issue, no possibility of future growth. Part 1. Bus, star, ring, and mesh topologies. Bus topology has a trunk or backbone to which all of the computers on the network connect. All devices are attached to a single shared cable. All devices share single communication line or cable. Hence, failure of the shared communication line make all other devices fail. Message sent is broadcasted down on the cable in both directions. When a station detects a message meant for it, it reads the message from the cable and the other station will ignore it. Terminators at the end of the cable prevent the signal from bouncing back to the sender. Collision. All stations share the same cable. There may be collision when two or more stations send data simultaneously. A control mechanism is needed to determine which station to transmit at any time. Increments in computers reduce the access speed on the network. So this is a typical bus topology where data is all assembled onto one long queue and it terminates at the ends. Advantages of bus topology is less expensive and easy to install. Does not use any specialized network equipment. It requires less cabling. If one station dies, it has no effect on the total networks. The disadvantage of bus topology: it is difficult to add a workstation or a host after it is established. Network disruptions when a host is added or removed. Have to completely reroute the cable. A break in cable prevents all systems from accessing the network. Difficulty in troubleshooting, not fault tolerance. Star topology. Most common topology and easy to install. Each computer is connected to a central connecting device with a twisted pair cabling. The central connecting device can be layer 1 device hub, repeater, or layer 2 device switch or bridge, or layer 3 device router or gateway. Failure of central connecting implies connectivity of all hosts to all other hosts fails. Star topology. Central connecting device may be passive, active, or intelligent. Passive hub. It connects the arms of a star. No signal regeneration is performed. Active hub. It connects the arms of a star and regenerates signals as well. Intelligent hub. It regenerates signals and performs activities such as intelligent path selection and network management. Star topology. Every communication goes through the central connecting device. Like shown here, we have the central hub, and all these are the devices or the workstations of the network. And every connection passes through this. So when this breaks down, every workstation or node is condemned. Point-to-point connection between the device and hub may be expensive if it involves more hosts because of more cabling. More than one host can send and receive packets simultaneously. The advantages of star topology: easily expanded without disruption to the network. Cable failure affects only a single user. Failure of a single host does not affect the network. Easy to troubleshoot and isolate problems. Its fault tolerance offers opportunities for expansion. Star topology disadvantages: single point of failure due to the central connecting device, requires more cable, more difficult to implement. Then we move on to ring topology. Nodes are joined by point-to-point connection to form a ring. Data travels in circular fashion from one computer to another on the network. Data travels in only one direction on a ring network. Each host machine connects to exactly 2 other machines. Communication to a host which is not adjacent to it must pass through an intermediate host. Ring topology: hosts in the ring reads a message, regenerates it, and transmits it to its neighbor on a different network cable. The transmitted signal is regenerated at each node. It has the capability of broadcasting messages. Some form of access control is needed to determine which node transmits when. We see the diagram here is round, and it moves from one computer in a runway to the other. In a LAN environment, each computer is connected to the network using a closed loop used by token ring and FDDI. Token ring network. It sends data logically in a ring fashion. A token goes to each computer one at a time and continues on in cycles. Token ring computers are physically connected in a star fashion. All computers in the token ring network are connected to a central connecting device known as multi-station access unit. The advantages of ring topology: only the computer who gets the token can send data to avoid collision. Easy to install and simpler to maintain. Easier troubleshooting. Cable faults are easily located. Ring networks are moderately easy to install. The disadvantage of ring topology If one computer fails, whole network fails. Expansion to the network can cause network disruption. Mesh topology. A network that has two or more paths to any node is a mesh setup. Each computer connects to every other computer, serves as a relay for other nodes. No central connecting device is needed. This topology may have hosts having point-to-point connection to every other host, or may also have hosts which are having point-to-point connection to few hosts only. High level of redundancy. Mesh, this is a typical mesh topology, like a network topology. Okay. Mesh technology can be categorized into full mesh or partial mesh. Full mesh, all hosts have a point-to-point connection to every other host in the network. It provides the highest level of fault tolerance. Network traffic can be redirected to other nodes in the event of a node failure. High computational cost. Partially meshed. Some of the systems are connected in similar fashion as in mesh topology, while rest of the systems are only connected to one or two devices. Has some redundant paths to provide for fault tolerance, far more practical as compared to full mesh topology, less costly, and also reduces redundancy. The advantages of mesh topologies are fault tolerance. In the event of device failure, there's always an alternative path to get data from source to destination. Less collision in this topology. Data can be transmitted from different devices simultaneously. It can withstand high traffic. Network expansion and or modification do not disrupt other nodes in the network. Disadvantage: very expensive to install and maintain. Wiring is very complicated. High cabling and maintenance costs. High chances of redundancy in many of the connections. Troubleshooting a failed cable can be tricky. Tree topology, that is the hierarchical topology, also referred to as star-bus topology, similar to star and bus topologies. It connects multiple star networks to other star network. It divides the network into multiple levels, layers such as access layer, distribution layer, and core layer. Allows users to create networks using bridges. Message from any site can be received by all other sites until it reaches an endpoint. Endpoint controller absorbs a message if it reaches endpoint controller without being accepted by a host. Access layer in tree topology, where users' computers are attached, like we see here. Tree topology, we have the core layer here, the distribution layer, then the access layer at the lower level. Tree topology distribution layer acts as the mediator between upper layer and lower layer. The core layer is the central point of the network, that is root of the tree from which all nodes work. Tree topology, all neighboring hosts have point-to-point connection between them. If the root node fails, the entire network suffers. Each connection serves as point of failure. Failure of any node divides the network into unreachable segments. Daisy chain topology. In a daisy chain topology, we have a linked series of devices which connects all its hosts in a linear fashion, similar to ring topology. If n hosts in daisy chain are connected, then it represents ring topology. Hubs and switches are connected in daisy chain to extend a network. Daisy chains are easily built. No special administrative skills is required. As we see here, image daisy chain topology. Each link in daisy chain topology represents a single point of failure. Each link failure spreads the network into two segments. Each intermediate host works as relay for its intermediate host. Then we move to hybrid topology. A network structure whose design contains more than one topology is said to be hybrid topology. Hybrid topology inherits merits and demerits of all the incorporating topologies. The combining topologies may contain attributes of star, ring, bus, and daisy chain topologies. Internet is the best example of largest hybrid topology. As we have demonstrated here, we have star sitting here, ring sitting here, and so on. References.